That's why we're starting this Friday off right in the Price Chopper Kitchen. Wine expert Rod Crawford joins us with more on the people's wine. It's being called Rosé. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me back.
So Rosé is supposed to be having a moment right now. Why do you think that is?
I think that people are just interested in rosé. I think they're finally getting past the idea of white Zinfandel and it's sweet. And I think it's a trend that's been coming from the coast for a while, and it's finally made it here to the Midwest.
How is rosé even made?
So rosé is made from red grapes, and I want you to think about making tea. So if you make tea, the longer you leave the tea bag in the water, the stronger the tea gets.
Sure.
So wine gets its color from the skins and some of its flavor as well. So when they make rosé, they simply don't leave the skin in contact with the juice for very long. So the longer they do that, the more color extraction they get.
Okay, so it's not like they're mixing red and white wine together.
Well, that's a method that some people use, but the more traditional way is this way that we talked about, a limited maceration.
There are a lot of choices when you go to the store now when it comes to rosé. So how do we pick the right one? And how do you know if it's sweet, if it's dry, what to expect?
Well, one of the interesting, I think, about rosé is I always tell people you want to drink young rosé. It doesn't age very well.
Okay.
So you want to look for your younger vintages. So currently right now, what you see mostly in the store is 2016. So 2016, 2015, but if it's getting older than that, it's really probably starting to lose some of its freshness. Freshness is key with rosé.
Okay.
And these days, most of the stores have a section for rosé versus like
my favorite section.
Versus like white Zinfandel or something like that. So we've gotten better at helping the consumer find the right ones.
Okay. And what kind of food do they pair with well?
I always think of anything that I would eat on the patio outside in the summer that I pulled off the grill. I love grilled vegetables, summer salads like tomato salads with feta cheese, things with herbs like basil and things like that in them, sausages. Nothing's better than sitting in a restaurant having a charcuterie plate and a bottle of rosé with your friends, right?
Sounds heavenly.
Yeah, it's just awesome.
Talk us through some of the ones that you brought here
Sure.
today.
So I wanted to bring a little bit of variety. So this is the Charles & Charles Rosé, and I brought this one because it's from Washington.
Okay.
And I wanted people to understand that rosé is made everywhere that wine is made. Even though we kind of think of the original home of rosé as Provence, France, this one's made in Washington. It's Charles & Charles. The one I have in my glass is the Fleur de Mer, and it's from Provence, France. So, cheers.
Cheers. Okay. So, would you call this sweet, dry? Where does this land?
These are all dry.
Okay.
You can see like the color is a little bit different between the two. This one's a little darker, and this one's a little more pale.
Right.
There's fruity flavors, there's minerally flavors, but the wine is dry.
It's so good. What temperature do we need to be drinking rosé at?
Great question. I think of it a lot like white wine, so like 55 to 60 degrees cold.
Okay.
It's hot out. It's fun to enjoy.
So, but if
with
you're
your
just
friends.
putting this in your refrigerator, how do you know when it's at 55 degrees? If you don't have like a wine fridge, me.
I was trying to think if I had a sound effect for this from the previous segment, but I don't.
No sound effect, that's
You just
okay.
throw it in your fridge for like an hour and you'll be fine. Or throw it in the freezer for 20 minutes.
Is
That'll
it
be
bad
great
to
too.
keep wine in the fridge for like days?
Days is
weeks?
fine. Weeks is bad. Months is, well, weeks is fine. Months is bad.
Okay. So
But,
keep it somewhere cool, dark, and then bring it out?
Yeah, just throw it in the fridge before you want to drink it.
All right, Rod, here's to
All right.
rosé all day. Cheers.
Have some this weekend.
There you go.